What's up, friends? Happy Sunday. I figured we'd finally do our earring tutorial that we've been discussing for some time. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut us some wire. And we're going to need one piece about 4.5 inches long. I usually just measure this on my hand. And then cut it right about there, which should be pretty close to 4.5 inches. And then two smaller pieces than that. 3 inches should suffice. And we're going to use flat nose pliers to make a little bend in those two smaller pieces. I guess we should measure that about 1/2 inch up. And then we'll either use round or tweezy chain nose pliers. What's up? Oh, either. Doesn't matter. I'm Jen, and this is Boises. So either your round nose or your flat nose or your chain nose pliers, you'll hold the long part, and ooh, sure you will. Twist your little tail around that. There we go. And then pop it up in that corner there. I feel like I grabbed. That feels and looks like 18 gauge. How did I pick you up? I know I just cut 20 gauge. Weird. Oh, maybe I didn't. Jeez. I cut 18. Let's try that again. Same measurements though. About 4.5 inches. And then two shorter pieces, 3 inches will be plenty. Love it when that happens. I accidentally grabbed, here's my 20 gauge and here's my 18 gauge spool. I accidentally grabbed my 18 gauge spool and cut those first few pieces. It didn't feel right. As soon as I started bending it, I was like, wait, that's wrong. Okay, it's the same bend. The flat nose pliers, about 1/2 inch in, to bend that out. And then grab the long part, twist the short part around whatever you grabbed it with. And twist it around there. We're going to have a tiny tail to snip off. And then we'll tuck that in. Up against that. You see what we've got? We made a little knot. And that little knot's now our head pin. So we're going to make a second one of those. Again, just grabbing the long part, wrapping the little tail around. Cut that tiny bit of tail off. And then we'll actually put our beads on. For this pair of earrings, I chose some labradorite, some black tourmaline, and some amethyst. Well, lab beads are real pretty green flash. Hello, hello! I went ahead and came on a little early for those of you that might be here from the email this morning. Came on a little early because Jude is home and I have an opportunity to play some magic with him. today, so we're gonna get this done early, and then I'm gonna go live over on TikTok while I play Magic with Judah, just for fun. You guys have said you'd watch my friends and family over there. So there's Lab Tourmaline, and here's our Amethyst. So if you want to hang out with Judah and I while we play Magic this afternoon, you're invited. So then I'm going to use my bail making pliers. We're going to go left, and then wrap around the smallest bit on the bail makers. So now you've got this loop, and then we'll go around twice, once, twice, and close that loop. Snip and tuck. Well, thank you for the likes, friends. Alright, and then we'll do the next one, and instead of bending to the right, we'll bend over to the left. I went left last time. We'll bend to the right, sorry. Burp. And then wrap around. So these are mirror images of one another, you see, instead of being exactly the same. I'm doing very well today. How are you? Now once this part's done, all we've left to do is make our ear wires. I love this method for making ear wire pairs. Like, even if you use the same method over and over and over again, depending on where you make your cuts, you may not make exactly the same pair of ear wires. So I love this method because it's pairs every time. And so even if it's not exactly the same across all of the pairs that you make, each pair will match. So you're going to take your 20 gauge wire and you're going to bend it in half. This is your 4.5 inch one. You're going to bend it in half. Pinch that down a little bit. And then we're going to use those bail making pliers again. And first we're going to curl around the smallest one. And just for the record, the bail makers aren't necessary, but they do make this process easier. You can use your round nose pliers and a pin or a paintbrush or whatever to make the bigger, you know what I mean? I just have them now, and so I'm going to use them. Whoops, sorry, I got out of frame. You see? So you use the smallest one to make that first loop, and then you held it against the loop and wrapped around the big one until you've got it almost all the way up against itself. And then I take my flat nose and I come just below that loop and make the bend. And then with the flat nose still holding, use my snips to cut them flat. And then also cut the little loop I made. And now we have two that are just the same. And we'll use my bench block that needs some love. Again, thank you, SoCal. Leave a comment on this video when I post it if you want me to show you how I take care of my bench block. Or fail to. What I should be doing more of. We do a little tappy just to make sure that these get hardened enough that they can be worn without malforming. And then the last step for these is a cut burr to smooth and round out any of the pokey stuff. I want these to be comfortable going in the ear, right? So then we'll just take our earrings, hang them from those ear wires, close them up. And I've been promising forever to do this over here. I'm so sorry it took me so long. Hopefully I'll get back to doing a couple of these a week at least. Little weave tutorials. All kinds of stuff. And there you have them. Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for being here today, hanging out with me. And look for the replay. I'll see you guys soon.